Hey everybody, what's going on? Alan here, and welcome back to the channel, my garage, where lately I've been spending a lot of time working on the race truck. I want to say thanks for tuning in and following along. If you have been following along, you'll know that I had a custom battery tray put in this thing that I made and put in this thing, but it was before I put the hood on and before I had the inner fenders on, and of course now that's a big problem. I've got the inner fenders on with the old battery tray, but I don't want to rewire everything to be over here. I really did want the battery to stay over there, so we're going to try to just trim this up a little bit, a little narrower, a little shorter, see if we can get it back in place. So I'm still buttoning up some things on the truck to get it going, and you may be wondering, get it going for what? But I've been thinking about buying a draggy. I don't have any other special recording equipment. What do they call that? Data logging equipment. It's still a factory computer. It does have a chip. It's a factory 305 engine with 120,000 miles on it. Not rebuilt. Original cam, original crank, original everything. The only thing I've done to the engine is it has, well actually, it doesn't even have the bored out throttle body. It's got a very old throttle body from the Suburban. If you know, I have a Suburban. I have another one of these, 94 also. But right now I'm borrowing the throttle body from the Suburban because it doesn't run with the other throttle body that I had made for with the big injectors. It just doesn't run right. It's way too rich and dumps gas. And the intake manifold is bored out too. That intake manifold is still on here, the bored out intake. It's just a few millimeters larger, the two holes, and they are matched also to the bored out intake, to the bored out throttle body that's currently sitting on the Suburban. The Suburban is a 350 and does run. It will run. The cold start weather is not the greatest right now. It runs when it warms up, but it does run. So for now, basically it's all stock, and the goal is to keep it smog legal for as long as possible, at least the first version of it. I can't change up really the power input. You know, I can maybe put a mild cam in it, which I might do. Well, that's version 2. Version 1 is this, and that's just get rid of parasitic drag. I got rid of the fans and the water pump and the power steering pump. So I have a manual rack and pinion down there, and with a custom little situation going on, going through the frame. But anyways, I'm thinking about getting a draggy and taking it to a local track, a quarter-mile track, and just see how fast, what its initial times are, and then bringing a draggy with me to just try and confirm that. And then also so I can practice on the side streets of Mexico here. But that's the goal of this truck, is to be the fastest OBS with the stock throttle body. Like, it has to pass smog. This is called Project Smog Legal in my folders on my YouTube channel. So it has to pass smog. It has to be daily driven here in California. So that's where I'm at with it. That's the version 1. Version 2 is throwing in a 383. Now I've got these Trick Flow CARB legal heads. I'll use the manifold I already have that's bored out here. This block is already bored out 30 over. I got the stroker kit, so that'll give me 383. I've got pistons, connecting rods, flywheel, everything needed to make this build happen. I also got, here's the camshaft that I'm going to use along with the rocker arms. And the wind blew off my stuff. Look at these things just getting dusty. I know you guys are shaking your heads right now. My roller rocker arms here, getting a little bit of dust. I need to wrap those up. I know, you're right, I'm an idiot. But that's version 2, still like stock throttle body and still hoping to pass smog. I still have a catalytic converter, the stock Y pipe. The headers are CARB legal. And other than the headers and the throttle body spacer, which is also legal, has a little sticker, Flowmaster muffler, single Flowmaster muffler to 2 tailpipes out the back. This thing is stock. The power for this thing is stock. What I have done, obviously, I put a lot of work into, some people say it's backwards. I don't know. I think it's more important to get the vehicle ready for horsepower first. Sure, it's fun to throw a lot of horsepower in something crappy and see how long it lasts before something breaks. That's always fun. I've done that my whole life. Actually, in fact, this will be the only car, the only vehicle I am going in the opposite direction, where I am set up the suspension, the tires, and body bushings, basically everything but power, saving power for last, so it can hold it. Which also includes the differential in the rear. I do have plans to get me a nice differential for the stock 10-inch. And that brings us all the way back full circle to the whole point is weight loss and parasitic drag loss. So moving the battery to the back for weight distribution purposes, getting rid of the parasitic drag. So I still want to make this happen. That still needs to sit there. So like I said earlier, a minute ago, we're gonna try just giving it a little trim here. We're gonna punch the rivets out for this brace, trim up all the way around the battery, cut this whole top flange off and drill new holes a little bit lower, and we'll add another strap to the side. That's actually, you can tell it's already bent, but that's the strap that was meant to be there that I used to, it was just dangling above the battery this whole time, so that can't stay permanent either. And then also there was a problem with the hinge. I hadn't thought about it. Like I said earlier, I made it before I put on the inner fenders and the hood, and then realized the hinge was running into the top of the battery, the positive battery post. It would have anyways. I never gave it a chance to, but the moment I realized the hood wouldn't shut, I had to take the hinge off so I could drive around, and then I had to carry the level with me. That was my hood prop. Inner fenders are in, hinges are on, holding itself up. That's a step forward in the right direction. Still, if you ask me, even though I have to do modify some work that I already thought was done. And also on another note, I've got to apologize for the lack of videos lately, and even on Instagram and Facebook, it's been really slow. There's been, I don't want to give away too much, but basically my wife has been battling cancer, and it's come back, and we've been having to drive to Sacramento every day for radiation therapy. So hang in there, please forgive me once we get through this and kind of get back on a normal schedule. Everything else will follow back into a normal schedule. And I've had some questions about the lift and what that takes to get it going. As of now, it's still sitting right there. The rain has been terrible. So I've had a couple people come out and give me an estimate on what it would take to pour the rest of the concrete, those 2 legs of concrete, and then I can assemble the lift myself or bring out another company to assemble the lift. But that's where I'm at right now, is just waiting on weather. And then still kind of collecting the funds. It's going to cost about $4,500 to get the concrete laid. And so that's what we're waiting on there. Concrete, some funds for the concrete, and then as soon as the concrete's laid, you better believe I'm going to be out here standing these things up, drilling holes, seeing if I can get this thing up myself. So if you want to help out with that project, please hit that super thanks button down below. Show a little bit of thanks. I'll give you a shout out. I haven't never had one yet, so I don't know what happens when someone does that. I will let you guys know if and when. I'm sure when will happen, but I will let you guys know what happens. Oh, that one didn't catch. Oh, those weren't long enough. Drill bit ripped that one out of its hole, so now I've got to patch it and try something else. Maybe it's not going to work like I thought it was. Nice catch, battery tray. Woo-wee. That ain't bad. Well, it's close, man, like real close. It doesn't touch when you swing it down, and the terminal wants to land right about here, but there's about a finger width of space, so I don't think it's going to touch on the way down. Would have liked to put it a little lower. I accidentally cut too much off. I was supposed to leave like another like 3/4 of an inch, but I was moving too fast. So it got bolted up there, and of course that's as far to the left as that bolt hole could go, so that's as far right as the battery could be, and I got very lucky. I'm gonna slowly lower this. Look at this. Very close. That doesn't get any closer. However, the terminal won't fit because it's wider, and it will run right in to the hinge as it swings down. So well, dang, we're almost there. Well, that's gonna work, just barely. Thank goodness. I don't have to drill more holes and try to scoot it over. So now I just got to work on basically rewiring stuff so it can go back into place, and this will be coming out the front now. Well, I think that's going to do it, guys. I've got the battery relocated properly and the hood closes, and I just got some wiring left to do. That's a bunch of boring stuff. You don't want to see that. I'll figure out another bracket maybe for these guys, and then I might have to run new power wires, those little lengths of power wire there. I might have to remake those, but that's all boring stuff. You don't want to see that. Let me know what you guys think about it though. And you know, if I'd better planned it out and hadn't accidentally blown out that one hole, things probably would have turned out a little differently. But it is what it is. I got to work with what I got, so I don't have to try to remake everything. You know, trial and error or stupidity. But I'll see you guys in the next video. Oh, and in the next video is going to be my mom's 2013 Chrysler 300 Limited. So hit the subscribe button and the notification bell to find out what is going on with that. See you guys later.